Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your man, the Grass Ninja. Welcome to the channel. We're about to do the Boruto Chapter 73 breakdown. Chapter came out today, and it was an okay chapter. If I was just summarize everything right now, it's okay. It's not the greatest. It's not like, oh, this chapter was so hype. Definitely a heavy amount of this chapter was dedicated to just rehashing old information. But we did get some interesting moments with like Momoshiki popping in, Sasuke sensing stuff, sensing Momoshiki, even though he doesn't have the rinnegan anymore. You know, literally like possibly setting up an avenue for Sasuke to reacquire some of those rinnegan abilities. Not that he ever used them, but you know. Anyway, it was a good chapter. Let's break it down from the beginning though. So the beginning of the chapter basically starts off. Everybody's going to the Hokage estate because they've been summoned for their mission, and the Boruto manga continues to remind us that Team 7 has been on hiatus ever since Ishiki's death, right? So ever since the battle with Ishiki, Kawaki got kidnapped, Boruto went rogue, or Momoshiki took over, Sasuke lost the Rinnegan, Baryon mode, all that stuff happened, and Boruto and Team 7, they haven't been on missions since. So whatever the anime has been doing recently, that stuff either hasn't happened or that's not technically a mission that they're on. Now, Boruto and Kawaki meet up for the first time since Boruto, like, quote-unquote died or was killed. Now, I think that's interesting. I can't believe, like, you know, this is the first time they're meeting each other since Kawaki punched Boruto through his chest, right? Now, their interaction seems natural. It seems normal. It's just weird that we haven't seen them interact since that happened, because it feels like that happened so long ago. And the reason it feels like that happened so long ago is because these chapters there are chapters that are like this that are just heavily regurgitating information that we, the viewers, already know, so that way all the different characters in the story can be hip to the same information. And when you do that month by month, it just slows everything down. Now, bringing that up, majority of this chapter is just a basic rehash of all the recent events, from Code and Eida entering the fray, Boruto and Kawaki being massive threats to the village, and Amado's current situation being kidnapped by Code and no longer being in the village, and him and all that. So everything we know so far has just been rehashed, but we did get some interesting tidbits on characters' opinions and how they would view certain events and scaling of certain characters. So Shikamaru has some certain, I guess, lines that he says in this chapter where he basically explains that if Code's strength exceeds Jigen, but it's nowhere, or it's presumably less than Ishiki, then Konoha should be able to deal with him, right? So he has a line where he basically spits out the fact that Code on his own, even with his power up, should be no problem for Konoha and their firepower. The main thing is Eida, and he also points out that if she wanted to, it wouldn't be very difficult for her to take over the entire world, literally just using her Simp no Jutsu, or her Lust ability, or whatever their name they're going to give that whenever they give it a name. Now, Shikamaru's plan for Team 7 is for Boruto and Kawaki and Eida to like cohabitate in what Sasuke calls a glorified house arrest. So apparently Boruto and Kawaki are being tasked with a top secret mission of living with Eida, since they're the only two people unaffected by her Lust ability or the Simp no Jutsu. That's interesting because that means they're the only ones that can directly interact with her. Sarada, Mitsuki, Konohamaru, anybody else, they're basically tasked with observing Kawaki and Boruto from like a distance, and then take notes on if anything happens to see if they're affected by the ability from just watching. And then on top of that, it's like, where are they going to house her? Like, if they're all being put in the same house, like, where in Konoha are they going to house Eida? And the main thing is that they have to be delicate with the situation because they want to win Eida's favor. Now, the plan is to basically take advantage of Eida's crush, or the crush Eida has on Kawaki, and they want Boruto to, like, play his wingman, so that way they can gain her favor, have her join Konoha, and then use her abilities to locate code and therefore attack and make, I guess, a move in that front of the battle. So, if all goes to plan, Eida will join Konoha, Boruto will be the wingman, Kawaki's gonna pull, and then we have access to Aida's abilities. Now, the B plot of the story kind of segues in here, and we get Naruto and Sasuke literally recapping everything Shikamaru just told us in the A story. So, like, a lot of regurgitation of information in this chapter. Very frustrating on my part. They did it in a playful way where it was kind of like, it moved by fast. Like, it was a lot of words, but it was easy to, like, breeze through it all. But at the same time, it was like, yo, we just read all this, so kind of annoying. But Naruto and Sasuke basically recap everything Shikamaru went through, while pointing out that Shikamaru basically manipulated Team 7 into accepting this task by disguising it as a ninja mission. So the fact that, like, he's not asking Boruto and Kawaki to, like, live with Eida in, like, this new home or whatever, he basically framed it as a mission, while in reality, this is the only option. Like, there was no way to deal with it. So he basically took advantage of their naivete and their eagerness after being on hiatus for so long to give them a secret mission, which is kind of like watching a pet, but it's Eida. So I guess, I mean, she's really powerful, I'm not gonna lie. It'd be like crazy. But at the same time, you know, Shikamaru basically wraps up his, like, mission briefing or giving out the intel on everything. He even points out that Eida is listening and watching, and at any point she can just re-watch this, like rewinding the tape and watch this conversation happen. So at any point, him giving them this mission and spitting all this information, he's like, it's considered leaked. Eida already knows what we're talking about. So technically, I'm actually just proposing a like business arrangement with Eida without her even being here. And that's the crazy part, is because Aida's watching this and she sees everything and she's like super down, but she's in a train, she's somewhere else, and that power is just so weird. She's just there, and Shikamaru's playing into that. Like, be careful what you say about her, because at any point she can literally just rewind the tape and be like, oh yeah, when you was talking shit 5 minutes ago around the corner, what was that about? So, like, that's crazy. So they're basically making plans with Eida, and Shikamaru's taking into account her abilities. So even when he's giving out this mission, he's already knowing Eida knows every step of the way, so he's being extra careful to be like, no, we're not going to do anything violent. The plan isn't to take her out or anything. The plan is to straight up have her live with Kawaki and Boruto, and hopefully she can, like, crush on Kawaki hard enough that she wants to work with us. And he's like, Eida is that cool, and she wasn't even in the room, but he's basically talking to her when she's not there. Now, Sasuke senses something interesting, and so does Kawaki, and these two are the only two who seem to notice that this goes on. Not even Boruto noticed this happened, but we got this super creepy, like, instance with Momoshiki where he just popped up, like, in the room with Boruto and Team 7 and everybody, and he was just, like, whispering in Boruto's ear. It looked like he was so close to Boruto. It was so creepy. And then Kawaki, like, sees him for a second, and then he vanishes, and it's like, Boruto didn't even notice, but then for some reason, we still get that, like, time freeze effect that they use in the manga to signal Momoshiki's, like, presence is there, and Sasuke picked up on it, like, on the rooftop of the Hokage estate. So it's like Sasuke picked up on this technique that he sensed originally with his rinnegan, right? And then Kawaki literally saw Momoshiki standing right next to Boruto. So, like, and then Boruto is none the wiser, even though Boruto's been shown time and time again to be hip to when the time freeze shit is happening. Even Boruto was unaware. So a lot of crazy things happened towards the end of the chapter. All in all, like I was saying, the chapter was fun. It was a good read. The way they paced through all the information was pretty good, but at the same time, a heavy chunk of this chapter is just dedicated to rehashing old information. But we did get some interesting moments with Momoshiki popping in and Sasuke sensing Momoshiki, and they literally called back to the last time Sasuke sensed something like this when he had his Rinnegan. So maybe they're trying to set up something for Sasuke. Anyway, good chapter. It wasn't amazing or anything. It wasn't particularly special, but it was fun, easy to breeze through. I don't know, like 7.5 out of 10, maybe 8 out of 10, maybe a little less, even, something like that. But let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section below. I'm your man, the Grass Ninja, and peace.